Hello, folks. Lately, I'm enjoying starting videos in places of meaning. This here is the window where I brought my boyfriend when we first started dating, my ex, and he was telling me about this is Las Vegas in the background, and he was telling me about some of like the visits he had made, and it means a lot to him, and pointing out the different buildings. And he was just kind of excited about sharing that and telling me more about it. Then he invited me to come with him to a convention that he had planned, which was a really cool. I was like, oh, this guy's really serious about me. And it was a meaningful little moment, and I wanted to share it. I don't want to be too close to the window, though, so we're going to zoom out to probably something kind of like this. And if you'll remember, we recently uncovered how much VR does mean to me and the kind of disconnect that I have between the virtual space and the physical space. And I just got off of work, so I have, and it's like a short day. So then I have today, the rest of today, and then 2 days off. And my roommate is still at Anthrocon, so I have the place to myself, which is always a lot of fun. And I, of course, have some VR endeavors, but I have a lot of odd feelings about them that I wanted to get out before I can continue my work. Now, this is because over the past 2 years of VTubing, I learned that VTubing, like what I'm doing now, is critical for my mental health. I love expressing myself and being myself, and I feel more myself here than ever before. And that's just something that I love doing. For a while, I just thought, oh, it's just a hobby. And when I haven't had room for my hobbies in the past, I don't treat that as though it's a problem, because I never take myself super seriously, except for recently. Something else important for us all to know is I recently moved. After the aforementioned boyfriend and I broke up, I had to move 2,000 miles back to live with my folks to get back on my feet and just be a sad, broken up boy and wonder what I was doing with my life. And I did not have very much internal VR space at mom and dad's. It's just hard being a kitty cat in your parents' basement when you're 33 and and trying to like express yourself honestly and just be a pure little spirit. And then mom and dad are upstairs. Like that was strange. Now, as far as my move goes, it's going quite nicely. I'm unpacked, I'm getting settled in, I'm learning my routines, and I've got my friends who are geographically close, and I'm learning what it's like living in my new city, and that's been going great. Physically, things are on the level. However, my VR space, virtually, needs a lot of work. I do not have a virtual home, really. I have a world in the program where I spend most of my time, and a few friends helped me in a few different ways. So it's a meaningful place, but it's not mine. I'm a little city boy. I love this world. It's where I filmed a lot of my videos way back in the day because you got a view of the city, and it feels like an apartment kind of. And that's something that I would love to have is a virtual apartment in a city. That's where I want to spend my time. And because I do so much VTubing, I also really want just my personal studio space set up where I've got my virtual camera, anchors, and different zones for streaming or then filming with different skyboxes and environments so I don't have to choose what world do I want to film in, which, as any VTuber will tell you, is at least half of the difficulty of what we do. And that's one of the features I really want to have in my virtual space, along with a few other things that you guys will find out more about soon. That's actually what I want to work on today. I know where my priorities are, and I'm excited to get to work on that. Now, this all kind of comes together in an interesting concept that I wanted to share in true Finn Panther form. And that is also the first time I've called myself Finn Panther on this channel, as it's like an identity I have been excited to come back to. And so that was a very fun little moment for me, and I wanted to make sure you knew. Because what's going on here is virtually, I need that virtual space for my mental health, like I just talked about. But right now, I don't have it. Kind of. I'm here now. I'm very safe in my play space, and previously there's been lives where I have not been safe in my play space. So we're comfortable where we are. But I am in an interesting position where I'm not yet VR unpacked. So I do feel a little bit frantic on that front of things. And where I need VR to be ultimately comfortable and satisfied with myself, I'm not yet settled in. Like I cannot be settled in yet because my virtual space, like I still have a lot of work to do there. But I need that space for my mental health. So I get off of work, and sure, work, you're only going to have limited ambitions when you get off of work, generally speaking. That just happens. But I get off of work and come to the physical environment, which is fine. If I was anyone else, it would be golden. My living situation is dynamite right now. It's just not inspiring the way that I know it can be and has been and will be and is, more or less, when I get everything else in order too. And the purpose of this video, I think, is I just want to state plainly that it's a difficult thing to have to come home from work and then do more work. And yes, it's my hobby and I love it, but this is my hobby. What's happening now, this is my hobby. Filming, VTubing, that's my hobby. Living a virtual life is different than that. And for so many reasons, I need to take the time and the internal space for this hobby. There's a lot of spiritual intent that goes into this. It's a required activity of me. I just require it of myself, even if you take away, you know, any sort of a universal mandate, which is powerful, but I'm sticking to it. Like, I feel strongly about what I'm doing. So you have to make room for the hobby, even though other factors of life are not in place. And there is a danger in what I am about to propose. Because it really does feel like when I get things set up appropriately in my virtual world, that things will get easier. Danger, danger, that's dangerous. That is no good. Because life doesn't happen then. Happiness is not a then kind of a thing. I'll be happy when something happens. I was going to be happy when I moved in with my boyfriend, and as it turns out, living long distance was a really good thing for it was a good thing for us. So happiness was not then, and happiness is not now. I moved out of my parents' place. I have so much more internal space than ever before. But happiness is not now yet because there's something else that I'm missing. My struggle right now, though, is I recognize that system. Happiness is not somewhere else. It has to come from inside. You have to be able to be happy where you are. You have to find that happiness. That has to come from you. I'm telling myself, and it feels so true, that I'll be happy or happier or more readily able to be happy, like whatever the thing is, when I get my virtual home in order. I can't get rid of that feeling. That's just something that I know, that I feel like I know. So right after I'm done filming this, I'm going to edit one of the other videos, maybe this one too, and eat a potato, because that's all I can afford to eat right now, and I like potatoes for days. Yeah, you do what you have to, though, to get by. And then I'm going to get into the other application. It's Resonate, where I'm in VR chat now. I don't know why I feel so hesitant to bring up the different platforms I use for VTubing, but where my virtual home is, I'm going to log in there and get to work on my play space and kind of making that more of a home, setting up the other part of my life. And I'm going to be doing that today, knowing that I feel a promise of joy when it's all set up, and knowing that that promise of joy is completely a lie. It's so false, it doesn't work that way. So my motivation is flawed, but that motivation is what's carrying me through the actions which feel important to me, and I'm kind of conflicted about that. And it feels like when you do something that you love, you should be able to do it with your heart. I love VTubing, I love being a kitty cat or a squirrel, and I should be really enthused to set up that life just because it's a life I'm looking forward to. It should be a joyful activity just by nature of the style of activity that it is. But I can't get over this idea that it's for a cause or a purpose, or it'll make my hobby easier to execute, and it actually undoubtedly will have that effect. And a while ago, I got into the habit of specifically not engaging with my hobbies or the things that I love if my intention was not pure. And real quick, I mean, that came about when I caught myself when I was really depressed for a great length of time in my life, and I would hang out with friends as a way to try and distract myself from what was going on. I love my friends and the relationships in the world, but I was using that to distract myself, which was not treating the people in my world with appropriate respect to me, as I want to hang out with my friends to celebrate who they are and the connection that we have together. And I want to treat that really special. Humans are the most, or virtual kitty cats, are the most important thing. And the connection you have with people, to me, is sacred. And I caught myself not treating that appropriately. So I would only kind of hang out with friends if I was able to be present for it, which looked like I was not that I was isolating myself, which I also am isolating myself these days for the sake of my art, which we've talked about before. But right now, I don't have the luxury of, well, if my intention's not pure, then I'm not going to pursue being a cat or a squirrel because I should only do the thing that I love when I'm in a position of love. I can't do that. I don't have that luxury. I have to get this stuff set up. And it's just frustrating, man. And there's another issue here that I guess I'll touch on real quickly and then tidy up the video. Because every time I log in, I just want to be social. And I had a minor crisis last night. I'm amazed I was able to go to sleep, actually, because I had logged in to do a little bit of the work that I'm going to be doing today, and so many of my friends were online, and they were hanging out. And I remember hanging out. It's so much fun. And I wanted to be able to have fun and hang out with my friends the way that they were hanging out. And it was like the 4th of July. So it's like a fun holiday. You get to spend time with the people who you love, who inspire you. And I wasn't able to because I had work, but then also I have work when I'm done with work. I have to construct my space. I have to build a virtual house, for crying out loud. And I can't be hanging out while I'm doing that. I have to just get that done. So my intention's not pure, which is something I'm fighting about, and I'm declining being social with people who deeply inspire me while I'm in a platform which deeply inspires me. So I'm like double or triple fighting against forces at play in order to achieve what I seek to achieve. And the whole point of this video, I think, is that that's a bummer. That sucks. I don't want to go through that on my own. And yeah, I could reach out to friends about it, and I have, but I'm not doing that. I'm doing this instead. Because there's nothing else for it. There's nothing to it but to do it. And when you know, I got this from my dad, when you know that something difficult has to be done, you can go ahead and stop thinking about it or worrying about it or complaining about it because it's the choice you have to make. So, shut up and just do the thing. It's not that big of a deal. But it is a bummer. And I wanted to just kind of say that, I suppose. So soon, hopefully, I should have some of my affairs in order so I can just be instead of thinking about, man, I sure wish I could be, but I don't have my things set up. And it's like, well, no, we're so close. And I'm nervous because I always tell myself that I'm so close. And I feel so close, but I always feel that way. And I gotta work on that, man. And that's the video. That's the video. I called my parents for the 4th of July, and they were like, oh, how you're settled in? And I was like, yeah, I am. But actually, no, I'm not. I'm not even a little bit settled in. And I have to go do that now. And that should be a good thing. It just doesn't feel like it. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what to do about it except to shut up about it and do the hard thing anyway. And I'm going to have to go and say goodbye, like not say hello at least, to a lot of my friends who I know are online. A lot of my friends play on, today is Sunday, and a lot of them are online on Sundays, but not me. I will be online, but I'll be busy. And I don't like that. One thing I do like, however, is VTubing and being a little kitty cat or a squirrel sometimes, and just expressing myself, which is something that I did. And I gotta, you know, gotta take those victories when you can. So I have something upcoming that's going to be a little difficult, but before doing the difficult thing, I did the really fun and enjoyable thing, which is this. That makes it easier. And so I did that thing, and now I'm going to go, and we're gonna fade out. So that's the video, and I hope you have a really good day. I'll see you later.